What's up, connoisseurs? It's Rod with POW Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Today is Saturday, April 12th. Hope you're having a great weekend. In this video, we're going to do another rapid fire news update, this time from April 5th to the 11th. And again, it's just a high level overview in case you missed it. And if you want to dig deeper, you can do so on your own time. Before we get to it, make sure to smash the like. If you're new, you can tick the bell, all that good stuff. You'll be notified on any future videos or whenever I go live. And as always, not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. You can also follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. So we had another busy week in MJ. Never ceases to amaze me the amount of news that we have on a weekly basis. And again, this is just me cherry picking all of the major ones. There's no way I'd be able to go through everything. If you actually, just even in the POW Group private community, the amount of articles that we have in there, there's just dozens and dozens and dozens, sometimes daily. So it's overwhelming, but it's exciting as well at the same time. So Tilray Brands reported Q3 fiscal 2025 financial results. I already did a video on this. I reviewed their earnings. I also did a live conference call as well. So if you haven't seen those, you can check it out for my full thoughts and opinions. They had a huge miss in terms of revenue and EPS. No sugarcoating it. It was a pretty terrible report, but there was some good that came out of it. So they had a reduction in debt. One thing that they mentioned as well is they're getting out of Texas. They didn't mention that in the 10 states that they're in at the moment. And they did mention that they're going to be getting into AI and cryptocurrency. So I'll just read this here for you quickly. Tilray Brands is dedicated to leveraging advanced technologies to align with our shareholder interests, the consumer of tomorrow, enhancing efficiency and driving growth. We are implementing AI, artificial intelligence, across all global operations to enhance our expertise, optimize processes, achieve substantial improvements, and advance our business objectives. And you remember, a few months ago, I posted a video how the AI revolution in MJ is going to be massive, not just from a cultivation standpoint, but from a scientific and research standpoint. Once we get rescheduling, once we get the walls come down, the blockades come down, then we're going to see tons of studies and scientific breakthroughs just from our own human perspective and research. But then if humans are able to throw AI at it, just imagine the scientific breakthroughs that we're going to have. And then from a cultivation standpoint as well. And they touch on this here. So in the cultivation sector, we are utilizing advanced horticulture automation technology throughout our global greenhouse operations. By integrating this technology with AI-driven data insights, we can manage greenhouse conditions in real time, leading to more efficient operations, increased output, superior quality, and reduced costs for resources such as labor, water, and energy. So think about that. You're going to be able to automate way more stuff, right? You'll be able to cut down on SG&A, and it's obviously going to be hurting some people's labor and jobs. But at the end of the day, this is the world we're heading to, right? And it's going to make these companies more efficient. Additionally, Tilray plans to accept cryptocurrency as a payment method within the company's online operations. This was a pretty surreal feeling for me when I heard about this. And I'm actually going to be interviewing Tilray. I posted a video about that in a post on X as well and across all platforms. I'll discuss more on that in a minute. So very excited, but this is your home for MJ stocks and crypto assets, and love to see that that's all coming under one roof. And Tilray, it's no coincidence either, right? If you look at the U.S., look at this new administration, every second word out of their mouth is crypto and blockchain and AI. I don't think that this is a coincidence, right? This is all heading in the same direction, and I think this is a great move by Tilray. But they plan to accept cryptocurrency just as a payment method with their online operations, right? The company is also exploring strategic initiatives related to cryptocurrency that align with their business goals. So that could be, stockpiling it. I doubt that they would really buy any, but we'll see. Maybe they add some sort of crypto to their, they get rid of some of their cash reserves and hold some crypto, similar to, a micro strategy or what GameStop is doing. I really hope they don't, raise money to buy Bitcoin. That I think is the stupidest idea on planet Earth. No financial advisor would ever tell you to take a loan and buy cryptocurrency, right? Like not one on planet Earth would tell you that. It's just not a good idea. So again, check out my video for more information on that. Also, Tilray Medical is making waves in Germany. They mentioned this on the call as well. Our medical MJ sales have surged, with flower sales up 79% and extract sales up 31% post legalization. And they mentioned as well that they're going to be focusing on the international and medical market, similar to an Aurora and a Canopy Growth and an Organigram, right? Organigram just changed their name to Organigram Global. So this is the focus at the moment, and there's a lot of opportunity there, and it's also going to help with profitability and higher margin, right? And get away from that strict excise tax in Canada. It's probably going to be at least a year or so before we see any improvements to excise tax in Canada, maybe longer. I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see if we can get an update on that from Tilray as well when I'll be interviewing them. Also, German coalition. This was great news. The German coalition parties announced plans to evaluate but not repeal the country's MJ legalization law. This is what I've been saying for many, many months when there was some uncertainty around this. I said I really don't expect them to walk anything back. If anything, they'll just slow it down. But I don't think they're gonna change anything that has already been done, and that's exactly what we've been seeing. So love to see that. Kudos to the German market and government. Taking a look here at the details. So again, I posted this is the interview announcement. So this is a long time coming. Like I said, pretty surreal feeling, and reminds me a lot of the Hexo one, right? We had the CEO and the CFO, and now, even it's just fitting to have Tilray Brands, the company that acquired Hexo, that I interviewed their CEO and CFO. So love to see it. Some people were saying hopefully it's not the same fate as Hexo after you interviewed them. I don't think so. I think this company's a lot, like they said in the call, Tilray is here to stay. Tilray isn't going anywhere. They're sitting on a ton of cash. They have a decent balance sheet. They're reducing debt. And the biggest economy in the world, the United States, isn't even legal yet, but it won't be long before we get regulatory clarity there. And I think, safe banking, I think rescheduling is pretty much a done deal over the next year or two. I think under the new administration, we already saw multiple comments from the administration saying that they support that. So I do think that they will follow that same theme of promises made, promises kept. It's just not at the forefront of issues right now. But again, I don't have a date yet. I'll be announcing that soon. If anybody does have any questions, please let me know. I'm seeing a lot of emotional people as well, just commenting, fire this person. Like, obviously, I'm not going to be talking about these people getting fired, right? Like, that's just juvenile and not, that's not going to happen. Also, I'm not going to ask them any questions. I only got a certain amount of time, right? I only got 30 minutes to an hour tops. So I'm not going to ask them questions that we don't, like, when are you going to stop dilution? Like, they don't know, right? The company's not profitable. It's always a possibility. Share buyback. I can't see them buying back any shares until they're profitable, right? Like Green Thumb, for example. But, they want to pay down the debt. They're paying high interest on the debt. Why not pay down the debt and then do buybacks later when you're profitable and you don't have as much debt, right? So a lot of these questions are futile. I want to actually ask questions, and I can't obviously ask every single question. I probably had about 40 or 50 people reach out to me with questions, and a lot of them were questions I already had. I had a couple dozen myself, right? Because I've been anticipating this interview for a while now. So I only got, I might have like 100 questions, right? Or more, but I'll only be able to ask probably 20 or 30 at the most, right? And yeah, so I have to use my time wisely. And, I don't like to softball it. So I'll be asking the hard questions to the extent that I can, right? And, if I had it my way, I wouldn't let them know the questions. I even told them this. Hopefully we can make that happen. Hopefully it can be a live stream as well. But all I ask is that everybody remain professional. It's not just Tilray that's struggling in the MJ industry. Look at Canopy. The stock's at 8 cents pre-split, right? Before factoring in the split, it's at 8 cents. $60 stock to 8 cents, right? So stop with the emotional BS and let everybody grow up. You hit the buy button yourself and the whole sector's down, right? So it's time to grow up. It's time to call a spade a spade. The whole industry is struggling, right? And this is still federally illegal in the US, okay? So, and the companies are dropping like flies in the US, and they're going to continue to, in my opinion. So I think, with international, I think Tilray has a lot to like. I'm very bullish on MJ. I'm very bullish on craft beer. I'm very bullish on hemp. And Tilray has been the OG in the hemp space and, their distribution business and whatnot as well. So I think this is a company, like I said, that's here to stay. I digress from that for now. But again, more details coming soon. Also, the Italian government uses emergency powers to push through hemp flower ban, criminalizing 22,000 people overnight. So we continue to see that crackdown, not just in some of the states in the U.S., but globally. Also, Avicanna announces its 5th medical symposium on cannabinoid-based medicine. We were expecting earnings from them, but I haven't seen them. So if anybody comes across those, please let me know. Also, the DEA ramps up recruitment for agents to fight the war on drugs as Trump and Musk's Doge, Department of Government Efficiency, cuts federal workforce elsewhere. And obviously, it's probably not MJ that's the focus. They're probably focusing on fentanyl and all of these crises that are actually Schedule One drugs that are killing people, right? So at the end of the day, that it doesn't need to happen. Like it's getting really bad. Like you don't need to be an expert in, you don't need to be a forensic drug expert, right, to understand that we have an epidemic on our hands. Like I live in Edmonton, Alberta, here in Canada, and if you just go downtown any major city lately, really since C19, it's bad, right? There's tent cities everywhere. There's people shooting up on the street. Like it's really bad. So I think that is necessary. Some people saying abolish the DEA. I think that's probably the stupidest idea on the planet. Like why would we get rid of drug enforcement? Like obviously these drugs are killing people, right? One bad hit, one bad batch, and you're dead, right? So and hooked for life, quite frankly. So to people, like when I see people say abolish the DEA, I mean abolish the IRS, abolish the Fed, end the Fed. I kind of agree with that, right? But when it comes to like drug enforcement agency, like that's just emotional people and drama queens, right? Like that's living in a fantasy land. That's not reality. So Cureleaf to report first quarter 2025 financial and operational results, and that's going to be for the quarter ended March 31st, 2025, after market close on May 8th. And then they'll also be having a conference call Thursday, May 8th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Moving right along, former DEA and HHS officials suggest MJ rescheduling could be delayed indefinitely if Trump doesn't proactively support it. Well, funny enough, because he said that he does support it, and banking, and Florida Amendment 3, and legalization in Florida. So writing's on the wall. It's just not a priority right now. I've been saying for a while now, once big tech, crypto, AI tops out, then they'll pivot to MJ, right? They've got wars on their hands. They've got tariffs. They've got the trade war. All of these things. And this isn't new. He mentioned the China trade war and trade deal the last time he was president in 2016 to 2020. This isn't new, right? This is in his playbook. Unfortunately, MJ's just not at the forefront, but we know that JFK RFK Jr. wants to basically destroy big pharma. So obviously, MJ is going to be a big role in that, and getting rid of these opioids and giving people a more healthier alternative and plant-based medicines, right? So eventually we'll get there. It's just not a priority at the moment. Also, Hawaii Senate passes bill to let doctors recommend medical MJ for any condition they see fit. So they weren't able to get full-blown legalization and recreational done, but they're starting to pivot to medical, and this is great to see. Give people the access to medicine. It's medicine and it's healthy. It's natural. It only makes sense. Let people decide. Trulieve to open medical MJ dispensary in St. Petersburg, Florida. Also, the Cannabis Company to report first quarter 2025 results on May 8th as earnings season rolls along. SNDL to buy Coast MJ and TMJ for $32 million. And this was 32 dispensaries, so on average about $1 million per dispensary. So good on the company, sitting on a boatload of cash, so not surprising. Also, Glass House collaborates with UC Berkeley on hemp R&D. The MJ Company's agreement with the University of California, Berkeley includes research into novel medicinal product development. Also, Trulieve MJ to hold their first quarter 2025 results and conference call on May 7th. We go through, what time is it at here? So that will be 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And so it'll be released in the morning. All right, moving along. Pennsylvania is substantially closer to legalizing MJ with vote coming as soon as this month, lawmakers say. So obviously, big anticipation with regards to this market, and the biggest market set to come online in the U.S., which would make it the 25th legal state at a recreational level. Florida Senate passes bill to restrict hemp products like Delta 8 THC. So again, seeing the crackdown. Very, very uncertain times, and Texas really cracking the whip as well. Grown Rogue to hold first quarter 2025 results and conference call on May 13th. And that will be at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on the 13th as well, the conference call. Tilray closing Hop Valley Brewing production to outsource all brewing. So I think this is probably a smart move. I think they're looking to make way for, like, they don't obviously need all of these facilities. I think they have like 20 facilities across the U.S. now, manufacturing facilities. Hop Valley, I don't know, like if anybody has tried this, it's not my favorite. to be honest. Like I tried the IPA. I haven't tried the red amber. I would like to. Yeah, as far as I'm aware, they're not, abolishing it. They're just getting rid of they're just outsourcing it. So I think this is probably a smart move, cutting down on costs and overlapment and, cutting down on these overlapping parts of their business and trying to be more efficient as well. And hit it with some AI. High Tide to open new Canna Cabana location in Kitchener, Ontario, as it continues to roll out the footprint in Ontario to get up to that 150 store count. I think they're at like 70 or 80 last time. SNDL announces listing on the CSE. This was surprising. The MJ company commenced trading on the Canadian Securities Exchange. Usually, this is long ago. Like a company this big, I was surprised that took them this long, or they even did it in the first place. But one of the smaller exchanges in Canada, obviously the TSX Toronto Stock Exchange being the biggest. But overall, just more access can't be a bad thing. Also, Scott's Miracle Grow transfers MJ subsidiary to independent unnamed partner. The lawn and garden company separated its MJ Holdings Hawthorne Collective to drive greater growth in its core business. And there was an article here from MJ Biz Daily, but it was a transfer to a strategic partner, is what we know so far. Also, Israel proposes tariffs up to 165% on Canadian medical MJ imports. And we've been seeing a lot of operators in Canada exit that market. And I think Kronos as well is in Israel. So we'll see what happens there. But it's almost as if they knew something. Probably a smart move in the grand scheme of things. Also, MJ retailers across Canada are hiring AI employees for their safety as we continue to see more reliance and utilization of AI in MJ. So MJ retailers across Canada are transforming their security strategies by hiring AI employees to protect their businesses, staff, and customers. They're facing rising threats and break-ins, internal theft, complex compliance demands. MJ stores are turning to Ranger, an AI security employee by Arcadian AI that autonomously monitors properties 24/7 with unmatched precision and intelligence. And, this is something in the US too, right? Where they're operating as a cash business. You can't buy with credit cards, so there's a lot of cash involved. And that's very dangerous for the employees, the customers, the management, all that stuff, right? And, it needs to change, right? And even in Canada, we're seeing, I mentioned this in one of my weekly updates, rapid fire news updates, that a Canna Cabana location, a High Tide store, was actually robbed. And even in a legal market, it still continues to happen. So there's always going to be a need for additional safety, and AI can play a pivotal role in that. And again, the cultivation side, scientific side as well. So looking forward to what the future has in store, and very much looking forward to the interview with Tilray. It's been a long time coming. But if at first you don't succeed, try again. All right, it's Rod with POW Group. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth. Let me know what you think of this news in the comment section. We'll continue the conversation there. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you on the next update.